Hello everybody, welcome back to another Card by Vanguard video. Jason here, and then we have Callum at the back.
Hello!
Happy late New Year's, hope everyone's safe, doing well. So yes, let's talk about what we're doing on this video. We are doing two deck profile in one. We are doing Majesty Lord Blaster right here. And then we are also doing Scharhrot. Well, I won't be doing Scharhrot because it's Callum's. So yes, let's start with the Majesty Lord Blaster, and this is premium, okay?
Well, V premium technically.
Well, no, it's premium deck, while your deck is more premium and V premium because we built it. So okay, grade 0. Let's start with our grade 0. Blind. Simple. Right, draw a card, and then you can get a quick shield because thanks to the new format, 1 grab. And then grade 4, 1, Escalpate the Blaster. I think everyone knows what Escalpate does now. If you don't, when you ride, counterblast 1, counterblast 1, soul blast everything except 1 card, and then it attacks everything on the board. So yeah, board wipe if someone rushes you. And then put 2 cards into soul and ride Blaster Blade. If you don't ride Blaster Blade, you kind of just lose. So yeah. Now grade 3s. 4. I'm running 4 Majesty Lord Blasters. So it was very hard to get during that time when he came out. Really good card. What does Majesty Lord Blaster do? Well, let's say. So pretty much what he does is, if you have Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark are in the soul, he gets +1 crit, and this unit gets 5,000 power and +1 drive. So he'd always be continuous, so he will be 18 during your opponent's turn, and he triple drive. And then when he attack on Vanguard Circle, put two rear guards into soul, and you get 2 imaginary gift force. So yeah, and the 5,000 power only works on the Vanguard Circle, but if you call him to the rear guard circle, he gets that crit. So it is a very good card. And then I'm running 4 Blaster Blade Exceed, just retiring some cards, so like counter chargers or something like that. He just there. If you don't know what he does, is counterblast 1. If you strive with him with a card with Saber in his card name, fetch a card with Blaster. I never use him as a Vanguard Circle, if only I'm grade locked if I don't get Majesty Lord Blaster. And then when placed, Vanguard or rear guard, counterblast 1, retire a grade 1 or greater unit. So yeah, that's pretty much it for grade 3s. Nothing much. Grade 2s. I'm running 4 V-Series Blaster Blade. I think everyone knows what Blaster Blade does now. You've played him so many times. So yeah. If you don't know, he just counterblast when placed, Vanguard or rear guard. Just retire a front row unit. And then I'm running 4 Blaster Dark. The D-Series Blaster Dark because better than V-Series. Not gonna lie. If you want him to, it's auto when this unit is placed on Vanguard or rearguard circle, counterblast 1, retire 1 of your unit and your opponent retires. You get to choose whatever opponent rearguard get to retire, better than the V-Series. And then you get a twin drive. But you don't really need to twin drive, but during continuous rearguard, if you retire 1 unit and he's on the rearguard circle, he gets 5,000 power, so he can swing at 15. Pretty good. But I'm only using him because he gets to retire. I get to choose to retire. And then for, Starcall Trumpeter, because it's really useful. Get her from the Majesty Lord Blaster deck, the deck. It's Vanguard or Rearguard when placed, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose a card, return a card with Blaster in its card name and the Light and Darkness Intercept order card from your drop zone, add it to your hand. So it recycles your blasters, so Just recycle your Majesty or Blaster every time. You're good. And then continuous, if your Vanguard is a Blaster, so it can be any Blaster Vanguard, it becomes a 10k booster. So boost behind your Vanguard and you'll be swinging big numbers. So very, very good. And then one order card. What does the order card do? Well, if you have Blaster Blade, you go and get Blaster Dark. If you have Blaster Dark, you have Blade, get Blaster Blade. If you have both, get Majesty's Lord Blaster. So it fetches whatever, if you're grade locked or not, is there. So very useful. And then my grade 1s. What do I'm running? 4 Wingull Braves. Why don't I run the original Wingull? It got a booster Vanguard, Blaster Vanguard, and it reduces my copies of fetching him. So what he does is boost or attack, hits, look at top 7 card, look for a Blaster, add it to your hand, reveal it, add it to your hand. So fetches your stride copies, any key pieces for your Majesty Lord Blaster combo is there. 4 Blaster Friend Bark Goal. If a Blaster Blade is placed on the same column, counter charge. That's all he is for, counter charging. So yeah. 3 Owlins. Just when I need to have hand, counter blast, call him, counter blast 1, call a unit from a hand, draw a card, gets 3000 power. So just that. And then I'm running 2 Gamoras. I think 2 was what was it? Cloudlands, yeah, Cloudlands Gamoras. What does he do? Well, if he plays on a rearguard circle, choose a grade 2 unit from your drop zone. You can put it top of your deck or bottom of your deck and you get 10,000 power. He's only there to recycle my grade 2s if I'm blitzing. But okay, and then I'm running standard triggers, 8 crits. There you go, 8 crits, 4 shiny foil crits, 4 heals, and then 4 draws. Simple. Simple, grade, trigger lineups. Don't need to. I'm not gonna run 12 crit because it's overpowered. And then G unit, I think you might maybe or maybe not know, but if I didn't do my premium deck, I'm running 2 Assaults, only there to generate big shield. If I have a Blaster or Alfred Vanguard, Counter Blast 1 for each number of rear guards gets 5,000 shield, 5,000 power on the shield. It protects me. And then 2 Marons, G Guardian, when placed on the Guardian Circle, Soul Blast. If I have a Blaster or Alfred Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, choose a grade 1 and then higher. Call it to the Guardian Circle and gets 5,000 on shield. So I can get my grade 1s to a 15k shield. And then 3 Religious Soul Saver Dragon. Why do I run Soul Saver Dragon? Well, she is only there if I want to use her, because her skill is Counter Blast. Choose a copy of her, choose it face up. And if I have a hub with Blaster Vanguard that I will be having keeping Majesty Lord Blaster, choose up to 3 units, get 5,000 power, and if my soul has 2 or more Blaster cards, so it will be having Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark, or Exceed, Blaster Friend Bark Goal. If I have 2 or more with different names, gets a crit. So it's there for crit pressure. Really useful. 2 Myriad Soul Saver is just having a bit more power. Just Soul Blast 3 when you're attacking. Choose all your unit gets 5,000 power. Just that. 4 Alfreds just for King and Knight Alfred. Just to give Blaster Blade Twin Drive with 3,000 power. Swing for more pressure. 1 Twin Sword Absolute. His skill is Counter Blast. When he attacks, flip a G unit face up, and then call into your deck, call 2 grade 2s, and then he gets 5,000 power for each G unit face up. So What was the last time when I did it to you? Well, it's normally I always get 30k power every time with my G
You
zone.
done 35 last time.
And then because,
Territories.
and then thanks to the force markers, they will swing almost 100
45. You're looking at about 75, 85.
with trigger.
Late game.
Yeah, with trigger on top. So he's like a late game push.
Oh, he's near to fight end game push, really.
If someone tried to hope on damp you, so yeah. So he's good. One cancel out Peace Saber, just quad drive, counter charge if you don't have counter blast. And then when he face up, when you're attacking, all your card with Blaster Blade in his card name gets resist. So it only works in my turn, but if someone does a board wipe or something like that, Peace Saber skill won't work on your opponent's turn. RIP. That's all I'm gonna say. And then one Progenitor Dragon. Why? I don't really like to stride my grade. I don't really like to use my grade 3s to stride. So if I get to stride in the first turn, I get a stride. Huh? And then I get a free stride every time when he's face up. Or she. I don't know what's the card gender. But yeah. So this is what my G zone and my deck will be. We will give it to Callum now, and he will show his Scharhrot. So let's do some transaction change.
Thanks for that, Jace. Hey, all fighters. Right, my turn for some fun. And then, is this all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with mine, I'm running basically what is now classed as almost V Premium, dark irregulars, but mine is solely based on Scharhrot Vampir, which
The V series.
I'll show you now, the V Series version.
3 copies.
3 copies.
A little bit. Oh, wait, hold on. Put a little bit closer. Yeah.
So for those who don't know his skill, it's pretty simple. When you go to battle phase, it gets all front row units get 1000 power for every card in the soul. Then counterblast, you can restand 1 rear guard unless you have 13 cards in the soul.
Don't worry.
If you have 13 cards in the soul, you can then restand 2 front rows instead of 1. So it's pretty much a powerhouse and continuous attacks. So it's there. It's pretty much the signature of this deck.
In simple terms, he is Mordred Phantom.
Pretty much.
So three copies.
Yeah,
of
running
Scharhrot.
3 of them because that's really all it needs.
Yep.
Next, I'm using the brand new
Clan selection.
Clan Selection Bladewing Ragey.
Yep, 3 copies.
So for those who don't know or haven't seen him yet, his skill is pretty straightforward. If your soul has 10 or less cards, you use Soul Blast 1. You choose a card from your soul and bind it face down. So his whole mechanic is regarding bind and keeping your soul less than double digits, basically.
Let's just say we haven't done up to 15 cards.
The highest is 12, I believe.
For you, but for me, when I played your deck, it was 14.
Yeah.
But potentially, you will be decking out.
So how it works is there is X amount of binds gives you certain effects. So with 5 cards bind, you get 5k power, which is continuous, even on your opponent's side. So it's a constant 17.
17
at
time.
7 or more, it gains 10k power plus a triple drive on top of the 5k bonus prior to that. And then if you have
27, and then you get
10, you add another 10k plus a critical. So then you're attacking for 37 plus a triple drive with a critical, and that's without a booster. And then if you have 15 or more, which
deals 2 damage.
It deals 2 damage instantly to your opponent regardless. So we haven't pushed that high, and I don't think really how we've been playing so far, we've not.
Potentially later down the line, your deck will be really low, maybe like 10 or 11 cards left, because you'll be triple driving every time because of his skill. You will be potentially decking yourself out.
Yeah, and then the last grade 3s I'm riding should be ones everyone should know by now, is Hope on Damp.
And you get this from Phantasmal Steed Restoration.
Yeah, and if those who haven't got Phantasmal Steed and don't know him but have played
against him,
Yeah,
Or you
should know that its skill is really good, but normally it's a late game and late to end game sort of skill.
Yeah.
If you have 20 more cards in your soul, place it down, vanguard or rearguard. When you attack for that entire turn, your opponent must drop a 20k shield only. So it's not two 10ks or a 15 and a 2. It
Or you
has
could
to be
say-
basically a heal trigger.
You have to only drop heal triggers. Sadly.
So you can, I can't remember if you can use PGs. It doesn't.
No. If Hope on Damn is placed, the only way to guard is heal triggers.
Yeah.
It stops you from Generation Guard, PGing. Even you intercept, it still won't be enough to guard.
Yeah. So now that my grade 3s are done, we're moving on to my grade 2s. I'm reading the most known DI card, Emblem Master.
That's also from Phantasmal Steed. And Clan Selection just reprinted this, so...
Yeah, so for those who don't know its skill, if you have 7 or more cards in the soul, you gain 5k power and 5k on the shield, making it a nice 14k attacker and a 10k shield.
Every time.
And then when it's placed, Counterblast 1, you choose a card on the field, and it can include itself. Go through the drop
A
zone
bit closer, please. Yep.
and the deck, put all the copies into the soul, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it works for ideal if you need like variants Killer Tail, for example, and Canna Charging, and others that require X amount of copies like variants Mega Wing, that if you have 2 or more in the soul it gains 10k power and resist.
Yep.
So it's there
So
for the power.
It's always there to help. The boy.
Now next is Jason's not so favourite card, is Demented Executioner, which came out in the Moonlight Butterfly
Yep.
and Clan Selection. So for those who don't know what it does, it's when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 3 cards. If a trigger was revealed, you get 1 freebie draw. If it's on the Vanguard and you attack a grade 2 or higher, it gains 5k power.
Let's just say I played this dude and I saw Charge 3 heal triggers. I hate him forever.
And he lost the game because of it.
I hated him.
So it's there as an alternate to Emblem Master to get that high soul count quite early on.
Yeah, but if you're gonna ride Reiji, you
have to be careful.
Your soul in your cards will have to stay as 10 to
Yeah.
activate his ability.
Next, and the last grade 2s I'm running are 3 Icicle Resistant, solely because if when intercept retired from Guardian Soul due to intercept, it can go into the soul, and then from its soul it can bind and give 10k to any unit. So this is obviously to help with Reiji, and obviously the bind skill can activate even on your opponent's turn, given the power.
Could activate.
Well, it's an act skill, and it just says from the soul, so it doesn't actually say. So we go off the playing that you can use it on both turns.
Yeah, I say kind of it works, but you kind of correct us if someone knows how to use his her skill.
If we're talking rubbish, do say so in the comments.
Yeah, just let us know how her skill works. Does it work on your opponent? If it's not, then we kind of sometimes misplay it, but I think it works, but I don't really know. So if you play tournament using her and you have your official judge, please let us know how her soul thing works. So it will be really useful. Thank you.
Yeah. Now on to my grade 1s. I'm running 4 Succubus of Pure Love, which came out in the Butterfly Moonlight with Scharhrot.
And then it
got Clan Selection reprint again.
Yep.
So for those who don't know what it does, its skill is when placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and if you put a card in your hand, discard a card. So it's your grade 3 searcher if you're grade locked. And then if a card was put into the soul by card effect, this card gets 5k power, and to our knowledge, unless, again, if correct us if we're wrong, it stacks like Doreen the Thruster skill.
We say it might stack like Doreen, so we don't really know.
Yeah, only by card effects though, so which is pretty much every single card.
Yeah.
But if we're wrong, do say so, but we're going on the play-in basis that it's the same as Doreen. So that's that. Next, I'm running
4 copies.
4 copies of Bestial Squeezer. So this came out in the new clan selection with Reiji, and its skill basically works for Reiji. Its skill is when placed on Rearguard, put a normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck and soul charge, and then from the drop zone, bind this card and then place a rear guard into your soul. So obviously it's there to help build your soul back up at the same time of binding, which most of the time when I do this, it normally doesn't actually change my soul, even after using like rages as well.
I mean, not using Ragey or sometimes use Ragey is really depending how much soul you have.
Next, I'm running 4 variants Killer Tail, which came out in the Phantasmal Steed Restoration. So for those who don't know, its skill is rest this unit. Put a card from either the drop zone or the damage zone
just rest it like that
into the soul. If you put a card from your damage, obviously you have to put a card face down into the damage zone. However, if you have 3 variants Killer Tails in your soul and 1 on the field, when you rest and use its skill, you can restand it and countercharge.
Yeah.
But obviously be careful with cards that can retire, because if all 3 are in the soul, you pretty much lost your countercharger. And then I'm also, for the last grade ones, I am running...
Well, you were meant to run Yellow Ball, but I told you to change into...
Yeah, because we're trying to work on the bind mechanic still. It's Werewolf Ketzer. And its skill is when this is retired from Guardian, put it into the soul. And then from the soul, bind this card and soul charge 2.
Because we are trying to hit the highest soul, bind cards with Ragey.
Yeah, we're trying to achieve our see what the highest we can get. And then 4 triggers. I am running
8 crits.
8 crits.
If you can't see it, it is a crit because of the light glare.
And then 4 heals. Your typical standard 4 heals.
Yeah.
And 4 PG draws.
And
then for my grade 0 ride unit, I am riding the bat that came in Moonflight, Butterfly the Moonlight.
Yeah.
As well.
That's his grade 0.
And that's that for the main deck. For my G deck, for my G Guardians, I'm riding 1 Medical Studies of Extinction, Vincent.
Yep.
So for those who don't know what it does, is when placed, soul charge 1, and then for every 5 cards in the soul, add 5k power. So this is pretty good for getting a high shield late in the game.
Yeah.
It's more of a late game one than an early game.
Or if I'm trying to Majesty Lord Blast.
Yeah, if he's hitting me with high numbers, then I tend to drop this quite quickly.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to flip a G Guardian up, which I tend to flip this one, which is Accumulated Attachment, Drudge Nasu. So I don't really worry too much about its skill, because obviously it's the G Guardian I flip.
Well, sometimes you don't need to flip it, but sometimes you could, because I only don't flip it because it gets 10k shield.
So the next one is Nightmare Gentleman, Saint Germain.
Yep.
And its skill is when placed, soul charge. Is it soul charge or counter charge? I can't remember.
Yeah, soul charge 1.
Soul charge, and then if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, add 10k to the shield, and you can give resist to any unit.
Yeah, Vanguard, Rear Guard, and Guardian Circle, but...
Then I'm also running the Full Start Wings, Agrat Brat Moulin.
Yep.
Which we all know, Soul Charge 2, add 5k to the shield.
Yeah, just there.
You like your basically standard DI G Guardian.
Pretty much, I think.
And I'm running Cryptid Nor Liege Sabnak, which is when placed, Counterblast. If I have... I can't remember how many cards in the
Counterblast 1. During your turn, your opponent Vanguard attacks. If your number of cards is 10 or more, you can pay the cost. If you do, it gets 5,000 on the shield, and choose one of your unit, get 5,000 power.
Yeah.
I think it was a Vanguard, I think.
Yeah. Choose one of your Vanguards and he gets 5k power. And that's it for my G Guardians. As for my actual strides, I'm running Sorrowful Slice Laragis.
No, yeah, I mean, he's there.
It's there, but I tend not to play him, but he's there. Its skill is obviously Counterblast 1, choose a face down G unit, flip it straight up, soul charge 3, and for each different grades among the one soul charge, choose one of your rear guards, it gets 5k power until the end of that turn. If a card with a darkness ability was soul charged by this effect, choose up to 1 grade 3, which doesn't really matter because I'm not actually running any cards with darkness.
Nope.
I used to, but because I've gone near enough V-Series cards, it's kind of pointless for that. Next, I'm running Mask of Demonic Frenzy, Ericreus.
Yeah.
Skill is when placed with Darkness skill, Soul Charge 2. If I can't remember the cards now.
If you have 6 or more cards and then at the end of battle, and then when the attacks hits, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards.
Yeah, and then if I have 15 or more cards, this gains 1k for every card in the soul. So
Yep.
late game, it's a powerhouse. Next, I'm running Rebellious Retainer of Fresh Blood Frederick, and its skill is when placed, put a card from my hand into the soul, and then for every card in the soul, gain 1000 power. After it passes 10,000, you can give 5k to the entire front row, rear guards only, but it can only be used that turn, which is simple enough. Next, I'm running Darkness Unleashed Freyheat with a Darkness skill. When this unit attacks, Soul Charge 2. If I do choose one of my units, for every 4 cards in the soul, it gains 5k power. If the number of cards in my soul is 13 or more, choose up to 4 cards to soul for different grades, put them to the deck. If so, give 5k power for every card, come back to the soul to the vanguard, adding 20k. So that's 20k to a rear guard and 20k to the vanguard in theory if you have enough cards in the soul.
Yeah, and which card were you meant to be going to take out if you're going to put in the...
Laragis. The plan is to change Laragis out because I'm going to be eventually getting Absolute Vengeance, Wings of Annihilation, T-Bold, the Strider card. So the next ones I'm using are the one who splits darkness, Bladermouse. Its skill is GB2 Darkness, Counterblast 1, flip the same card in the G zone face up, choose 2 cards from your hand, put them into your soul. When this unit attacks, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, return all grade zeros from your rear guard and soul to your deck. Shuffle your deck, choose 2 of your units, they get 5k power. At the end of the turn, battle, stand this unit, drive -2. So in theory, it's a quad drive unit and it can recycle all your triggers, which will be bad for your opponent if you soul charge near enough all of them,
And
especially your
luckily,
heals.
thanks to the clan selection,
That's a lot cheaper now.
Yeah.
Next up is the second signature card, which is the one steeped in sin Scharhrot. So it's Darkness skill GB2.
GR, I think.
SGR, yeah. Special generation rare. So the skill is obviously GB2, Counterblast. When it attacks, put all my rear guards into the soul. If I've passed 15 cards, or the opponent has to retire all their rear guards as 10k power, and your opponent cannot...
Well, I retire, but all your units go into the soul.
Yeah, and then my opponent cannot call sentinels from hand.
And luckily, if I had generation guards,
It
I
can
win.
work. And then, last but not least, the progenitor dragon of Gloomy Dark, Formido. So, same as Jason's Agnos, it has the same like 3 stride skill after, but its main skill is Counterblast. For every open rear guard space I have, my opponent must retire. If 3 or more have been retired, I soul charge 5 and draw 1 card.
Yeah.
So it's good for that early soul build, especially if I'm going to be running Scharhrot and I want to get as much power as I can.
Yeah.
However, it is a deck drainer, so... But I tend not to use its skill unless I absolutely have to, and the board is a must-be a board wipe. But it's there just so I can get the free stride.
If I'm rushing you and you want to stride, it's just pretty much that.
Which is 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
What happens? So that's it on our deck profiles. We're going to be shortly setting up to do a match, and we'll be recording that so you lot can enjoy.
Leave a like, comment, and if you want, subscribe.
Yeah.
We will try and do some uploads. We can't promise you, but we will try.
Yeah.
So, bye bye.
Later.